You might notice with this video that there's not a lot of editing. It's pretty raw and uncut. I wanted with this video to leave it that way so that you don't feel like we've overproduced a video, because sometimes YouTube videos can seem very, micromanaged, very like almost too polished, and then they don't seem very authentic or real or genuine. So for this video, I'm hoping that our conversation, our connection right now feels really authentic and genuine. So you're going to hear me pause, you're going to hear me say sometimes I stutter or stammer over my words a little bit. I hope you bear with me. And I'm hoping that the value of what I want to be able to share with you, the content, is going to be worthwhile for you to be able to tolerate listening to me babble on and sometimes mess up my words. So please bear with me, and I appreciate your patience. So let's move on with the video. Hey, it's Jay from Baltimore, Maryland, from the Financial UA General Service Office, bringing you a video today. It's a very rainy day out, but today is a great day to make a video to answer some of the most frequently asked questions about the Financial UA program, and to talk a little bit about the best practices when it comes to getting involved, getting started, working the program, getting a sponsor, all of the specific mechanical things, like what actions do I need to take, or what actions does a brand new person in Financial UA need to take in order to get themselves established in the program, and what kind of things do they need to know in order to make the program work for them in the best possible way. So I do have a list of some of those frequently asked questions, so you'll see me look down at my computer just to reference some of those questions, but basically I'm going to be speaking directly to those and giving you my experience, strength, and hope to the best of my ability, and hopefully giving you the information you need in order to help you be as successful as possible with getting your recovery at its best level and getting your prosperity to its best level. So let's start answering some of these questions. So the first question is, what is the Financial Underearners Anonymous program? So I'd like to think of it and present it to you as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So think of it as two slices of bread with peanut butter and jelly, and you put all three together and you mush it together and you make a PB&J sandwich. So that's how Financial UA is, sort of. So what Financial UA is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that is considered federally tax exempt, and it is registered with the federal government, with the IRS, as a nonprofit organization. So that's the first thing. Second is that Financial UA is registered and incorporated in the state of Maryland as a nonprofit and as a public charity. So that's the second ingredient. And then third, Financial UA is a 12-step program that has been appropriately and fully registered with Alcoholics Anonymous World Service up in New York. So Financial UA is a 12-step program, and the reason why we registered with Alcoholics Anonymous is so that we could obtain the legal and completely appropriate permission to utilize AA's 12 steps and 12 traditions, and to be able to adapt those steps and traditions for the purpose of recovery around financial underearning. And we wanted to build a relationship, a healthy relationship between Financial UA and Alcoholics Anonymous, to be able to give credit to where we received our program in terms of the recovery portion, and to make sure that we don't step on the toes of the infrastructure that Alcoholics Anonymous already has built. So again, Financial UA is based on building these relationships with the federal government, which has to be done in order to be a legal entity as a nonprofit, and also to build a relationship with the state of Maryland, to be incorporated in the state of Maryland, and also be a public charity, and also to build a relationship with Alcoholics Anonymous, to acknowledge and give credit that Financial UA is a 12-step program that is a piece, an evolved piece, falling under the category of more will be revealed, that AA has developed over the years and has these offshoots that have turned into fellowships in their own right, and Financial UA is one of those fellowships. And we wanted to be able to give acknowledgement and credit to our source, our origin, in terms of where we have our recovery process, where that comes from. So second, what is the definition of financial underearning? So financial underearning, in using the definition in Financial UA, is financial underearning is not being able to earn enough to cover everything that you need, plus some of the things you want, and to still have money left over or earnings left over to put into savings. So the definition for financial underearning touches on three things, and only three things. Not being able to earn enough to cover what you need and some of the things you want, and to still have money left over to put into savings. So our definition is very simple, very clean, very elegant, and very straightforward. And there's no vagueness or confusion about what our definition of what the disease looks like. And that is really helpful because it helps us to be very clear about what recovery looks like in Financial UA. So all we do is we look at the disease and we flip it around in its positive version, meaning that recovery from financial underearning is made up of three things: earning enough to afford everything you need, and earning enough to afford some of the things you want, and still having earnings left over to put into savings to be able to save and build wealth. So again, the definition of the disease and the definition of what recovery looks like is very crystal clear, very straightforward, and they are the mirror opposites of each other. So the disease definition of financial underearning talks about living beneath a threshold of what enough looks like. And recovery speaks to living above a threshold of what enough looks like. And if you know what the threshold is, we can actually calculate that number for each person financially of what that threshold needs to look like for that person. And if they earn below that, they're financially under-earning. But if they're earning above that, they're in their prosperity with room to grow. Meaning that as long as they're above that threshold, they are in prosperity. And there's infinite room above that threshold, which means they can continue to grow and prosper at higher and higher levels, just as so long as they stay above the threshold of what that number is. And that number can be very different from person to person. For one person, that number might be $36,200 a year. If they make that amount, they know that if they earn less than that, they're financially under-earning. But if they earn that amount or anything above it, they are prospering, because at that point they have enough to cover everything they need and some of the things they want, and to still have money left over to put into savings. So that is the threshold numerically for that person for what prosperity looks like and financial recovery looks like. And then anything above that is like the icing on the cake. The sky's the limit in that instance. For another person, that threshold number might be $114,000, because maybe they have a large family and a lot of bills, and maybe their kids are currently in private school or college or something. So in their situation, they need to have more money, more income flowing in to be able to pay for all of those extra bills. So for them, earning less than $114,000 a year is financially under-earning, because they can't pay for everything they need and some of the things they want, and still have money left over to put into savings. But if they earn 114 or above, they can absolutely pay for everything they need and some of the things they want and still have money left over to put into savings. So our definition is consistent across the board for everybody, but the specific number of what that threshold is, of whether you're below the line or above the line, is unique to each person. So our program and our definition of recovery can adjust to each person because every person is in a unique and different situation, and we all are unique and different people. So the program is clear and also flexible at the same time. So the next question is, what is the solution? Like, what is the thing that makes the difference between being in the disease and being in recovery, prospering and thriving? So what we consider the secret sauce to create all these changes, the catalyst of recovery, and the whole point of being in Financial UA is summed up best in step number 2, which is we came to believe that an earning power greater than ourselves could restore us to prosperity. So the reason why we work the program in Financial UA is to connect with an earning power. And when we connect with that earning power, it has the ability to help us generate more opportunities, to attract more opportunities, to find resources and money and job opportunities and income that otherwise we would have been vague about or maybe had overlooked. And this other part about this earning power is, of course, it primarily comes from higher power, but it has to be transformed a little bit. So like every 12-step program, people in program connect with a higher power that restores them to sanity. But that higher power does not always restore them to prosperity. In Financial UA, we figured that there has to be something else that needs to happen in order for the prosperity to occur. So what we figured out is that first we have to connect with higher power and then channel that higher power and then convert it into earning power, and then we can take that earning power to create more earning for ourselves. So in Financial UA, what the disease looks like is, well, let me put it like this. In regular 12-step programs, one of the reasons why people are in their disease is because they're powerless. They're powerless to break away or be set free from their addiction. In Financial UA, the reason why our members, when they're in their disease of financial underearning and they're living in deprivation, scarcity, pauperism, they don't have enough to afford everything they need, some of the things they want, and still have money left over to put into savings, where they're living this diminished lifestyle, it's because they are earning powerless, meaning they have less earning power than what they need to be able to earn what they need to recover in a prosperous manner. So like in regular 12-step programs, people can be powerless. In Financial UA, people are earning powerless. They're disconnected from their earning power from the inside and also disconnected from an earning power on the outside. And doing the step work helps a person to connect their inner earning power and the big earning power together so that that energy flows back and forth freely. Another way to say of helping people to connect with that higher power so they feel the presence of their higher power in their day-to-day life, and then their life takes on this new aspect of being very spiritual. So in Financial UA, we say we help people connect with an earning power greater than themselves so they can have that connection and feel that prosperous energy flow back and forth, and they can feel the spiritual presence of prosperity in their life day to day. I hope that makes sense. All right, so to talk a little bit about our approach. So in Financial UA, we have two approaches. We have the recovery approach and we have the prosperity approach. Or we might say the recovery method, which is to work the 12 steps, and the prosperity method, which is to use our tools and our skills and our fellowship and the Think and Grow Rich method. So what we do in Financial UA is we connect those two things together. the step work process and the prosperity process. And by connecting those two together, people can recover spiritually and financially at the same time. So they can develop recovery and prosperity at the same time by working these two methods at the same time. And our approach to recovery and prosperity is outlined in our Financial UA 12-step workbook. So when a person utilizes the 12-step workbook, it walks them through the process of doing their 12 steps and also learning a lot of these prosperity skills and practices and integrating both of those things into one system at the same time, one day at a time. All right, next question is, what makes us different from other programs? So on our website, financialua.org, or www.financialua.org, we have a frequently asked questions page, which is underneath the welcome tab. So if you go on the website and you hover your cursor over where it says welcome, you'll see a drop-down menu, and at the very bottom of that drop-down menu, there should be a page that says frequently asked questions. So you can just check that out if you want. But the first most common frequently asked question is, what makes Financial UA different from the Underearners Anonymous program, also called UA? So they sound different, Financial UA and UA. So here's the difference. And this difference I'm going to explain with the help and with the input of the founder of UA, because we had a chance to have a conversation back and forth to answer this question from both sides of the table to make sure that it's a response that works well for Financial UA and works well for the UA program. So what the founder and the response from the UA side of the table said that Underearners Anonymous is a program that helps people to become positively visible and to help them come out of the cave. Or another way to say it, Underearners Anonymous helps people to come out of the cave and become positively visible. And their primary focus of how they work their program is to focus on time and being aware of how they use their time. That program covers a lot of other things, like under being, under existing, not living up to one's capacity for full productivity, underachieving, so and probably a couple of other things as well. But the main focus is this idea about living in a cave, which I think is more of a metaphor, and coming out of that cave into the light of positive visibility. And that can be interpreted also in a number of different ways. So that's the UA definition of what under-earning means to them and what their program focuses on, or essentially the primary purpose of their program. In Financial Underearners Anonymous, what the Financial UA program does is it helps people to connect with an earning power greater than themselves that they can channel in the form of prosperity and abundance to help them increase their income, earnings, savings, and wealth. Period. So that's what financial underearning means. It's specifically a financial term. Underearning is a very specific financial term, and we talk about it and address it and speak about how to recover from it in financial terms. And we don't address any of the other ways to look at it. We just look at it as from a financial point of view, which is why we call this program Financial Underearners Anonymous or Financial UA. Next, what makes Financial UA different from Debtors Anonymous? So again, Debtors Anonymous is a program that helps people, and when I say it helps people, I'm referring to how Debtors Anonymous establishes its primary purpose. So the primary purpose of Debtors Anonymous is to help people to not incur new unsecured debt one day at a time. And basically what Debtors Anonymous does is it helps people who are debtors, who compulsively debt, to not take on new debt, to be sober from debt, and as time goes by, to pay off their debts, to live a life of solvency, meaning to live within their means financially and not take on any new debts of any kind. And usually what that involves is, for example, like cutting up their credit cards and not using any kind of credit or loans, but living strictly on a cash basis. Or if they do need to use any kind of loan, that they always have some type of hard collateral to use in exchange for that loan. So Debtors Anonymous focuses on debt and not getting into debt, or basically recovering from debt and not going back into debt. So that's the Debtors Anonymous program in a nutshell. And again, Financial Underearners Anonymous, what we focus on is prosperity. We focus on healing from financially under-earning and developing our wealth, our income, boosting our earnings, and increasing our savings. Now, I understand in some of these other programs, some of those topics are also addressed, but that's not what their primary purpose is, and that's not what the focus of the program is. They may touch upon some of these things, but every program tends to have its own specialization, and Debtors Anonymous focuses on debt, and they typically use, as their number one tool, they use a spending plan, which focuses on how they spend their money so that they don't go into debt. And Underearners Anonymous focuses on time and coming out of a cave and becoming positively visible, and they use their primary tool of timesheets, which allows them to track their time and how they use their time. In Financial Underearners Anonymous, we focus on healing from financial under-earning by connecting with more earning power and then channeling that earning power in a way where we can earn more money in the form of income and then put that into savings and investments and build our wealth. And one of our primary tools, we have a couple of main tools, but one of our most important tools is an earning plan. So we develop a spiritual plan that helps us focus on how we can optimize the way we earn. The next question is, how do you get started in Financial UA? Well, we have a video that goes into a lot of detail about how to get started in the Financial UA program. I would encourage you to check out that video. But to summarize it real quick, we have 3 suggestions as to how you can get started in Financial UA. The first suggestion is attend 6 meetings to give yourself a chance to decide if this fellowship is right for you. The second suggestion is to take a guided tour of the website with an experienced Financial UA member. And the third suggestion is to get the phone numbers of about 5 or maybe up to 10 Financial UA members who are experienced, who've been around the program for a while, but at least 5, and to give them a call and ask to hear their experience, strength, and hope. And you have the opportunity to interview them to just learn about what their program looked like, what it was like before they came to program, what they've been doing in program, and where they are now in terms of their recovery and their prosperity. And by calling those 5 members, maybe even a couple more than that, it gives you a chance to network with a lot of members in Financial UA so that when you're ready to get a sponsor, you'll already have been introduced to a wide variety of different people, and you'll know who the players are. You might say the players in the game, but you'll know who's who, and you'll be able to make a really good choice for yourself as to who you want to pick to be your sponsor. The next question is, what's the difference between meetings and workshops? In Financial UA, we have both meetings and workshops. So meetings are a fellowship type of environment, and meetings are run in a democratic manner, where it's a group of people who take turns moderating, and the purpose of the meeting is to gather together in fellowship to share experience, strength, and hope, and to talk about the program, and to invite into their presence a higher power of their understanding that can help restore them to prosperity. Now, a workshop is a little different. It is a Socratic method environment where it's led specifically by a leader. And those leaders are called facilitators. And the facilitators are qualified sponsors or qualified temporary sponsors in the Financial UA program. So meetings can be started and moderated by anybody in Financial UA. And all Financial UA meetings need to be registered with the Financial UA Service Office to be considered an official Financial UA meeting. Workshops are started specifically by the Service Office with facilitators who are hand-picked because they are qualified sponsors. And that workshop environment is a space for learning and teaching. And typically the workshops focus on teaching the attendees how to work the Financial UA 12 steps, or how to study and work the traditions, or even how to work and study the use of a lot of our specific tools. So again, meetings are a little bit more of a fellowship environment, and workshops are more of a learning, teaching environment. Next question is, how do you get a sponsor? Well, one really good way to get a sponsor is to find somebody who has what you want, and then ask them to show you what to do in order for you to get what it is they have. We encourage people to pick sponsors who have worked at least the first 5 steps of the program. In Financial UA, members are qualified to be sponsors, to actively sponsor other people once they have finished their 5th step. And every fellowship can be a little different about that. Sometimes some fellowships interpret this to mean that a person needs to finish their 12th step before they can sponsor other people. Some fellowships encourage you to sponsor as long as you have one more step under your belt than the person that you're sponsoring. So there's no real specific hard and fast right answer to this. I like to think that the answer is more based on the reflecting on the accumulated experience over a lot of years of having sponsored a lot of people. So it's more experience based as opposed to just reading it out of a book and saying, well, it has to be a certain way because the book says it is. So what we encourage in Financial UA based on experience is that try to pick somebody, if you want that person to be your sponsor, try to pick somebody that you know has finished at least the first 5 steps in Financial UA, and that they've learned it from a Financial UA qualified sponsor, and that they're going to teach you how to work the program using the Financial UA 12-step workbook. That way you know you're getting the recovery directly from the source, rather than listening to somebody who just makes stuff up and pulls things out of thin air. Because sometimes people will do that. Not everybody. But it's uncomfortable when a person might pick somebody like that as their sponsor, only to realize, oops, I made a mistake, I picked the wrong person, and then they have to go back and correct that mistake and start over again with a qualified sponsor. So it's a lot easier to do it right the first time than to do it sort of, willy-nilly and then have to go back and retrace your steps and fix it. It's just, why put yourself through all that if you could just do it right the first time? I would also encourage you, if you want to get a sponsor, to consider attending one of our 12-step workshops, which are held on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. We have a women's step study workshop on Tuesday. We have a step study workshop that's open to anybody on Fridays. And we also have a traditions study workshop, which is held on Saturday. And the facilitator, who's also a sponsor, who facilitates the Tuesday meeting, is a lady, and that meeting is just for that workshop is just for ladies. And then we have 2 gentlemen, and each of those gentlemen will facilitate either the Friday or the Saturday workshop. And as time goes on, we'll have even more sponsors available from which to choose. By the way, you can also ask your higher power to lead you to the person who is best suited to be your sponsor. And ultimately, you can pick whoever you want to be your sponsor, but what I can share from firsthand experience is that it's better to pick somebody who knows the program and who works the program than to just pick somebody at random. And sometimes it's worth waiting to pick the right person than to pick the wrong person and then to have to redo the work after you figure out it's the wrong person. So, anyways, the next question is, how do you attend the conference calls? So our financial UA meetings and workshops are held via conference call. So we hold them over a conference call using a conference call service. Specifically, we use freeconferencecall.com. Not that I'm endorsing them, I'm just saying that as a matter of transparency. That's the service we use. So in order to attend our workshops or meetings, you get the phone number off of our website, and it's very prominently listed throughout our website, the phone number to call to get onto the conference. So it's a US phone number, and then after you dial the US phone number, there's a 6-digit access code which you dial, and after that you press the pound sign. Sometimes they call that hashtag or pound sign, and then you press 1, which confirms that you entered the right number, and that will put you on the conference call. Now, we do have a second conference call number, which is specifically for the ladies' Tuesday night step workshop. And that number is kept confidential, and it's only given out to ladies. And it's only given out by the lady facilitator, who's the qualified sponsor of the Tuesday workshop. So, ladies, if you're interested in attending that workshop, you would need to first contact that facilitator, and that facilitator's name, phone number, and email are available on the meeting directory on our website. And once you get her contact information, you'll do a brief interview with her, and she'll determine if you're qualified to attend that workshop, at which point she'll give you the phone number for it. Next question is, how do you order literature, and which literature do you get? So you can order our Financial UA literature off of the home page. There's a couple of radio buttons, which are like clickable buttons that you hover over it and click it, and that will allow you to purchase the literature. We have 2 pieces of literature that is for purchase, our Financial UA 12-step workbook and also our Financial UA Traditions workbook. And then we have 1 piece of literature that is free, which is an electronic copy of the original first edition of Think and Grow Rich. And you can click a button to get a free copy of that, or you could click the other buttons to get copies of either of our 2 workbooks. You can also go on our literature purchase page on our Financial UA website and purchase or get any of these 3 copies of these literature. Whichever literature you get first, I would encourage you to consider getting a copy of Think and Grow Rich first, because it's free. And then when you feel ready, you can order a copy of the STEP workbook. I would encourage you to get that second. And then the Traditions workbook if you are interested in studying traditions. The next question is, how can you help us to carry the message? So every 12-step fellowship has as its primary purpose to carry the message and to help the financial under-earner who still suffers. So the way you can carry the message of financial UA recovery is, first of all, by doing what you're doing now, which is watching this video. So by watching this Financial UA YouTube video, you can click the subscribe button, which will subscribe you to our channel so that you can receive our YouTube videos on a regular basis. That way you can support us. You can also share this video with your sponsor or your sponsee or other people you know in recovery that you feel might be this video and this program might benefit them somehow. So you can present that information to them, and they can take what they like and leave the rest. And then you can also click the like button with the thumbs up. If you like this video and if you want to support our channel, you can give us a like. And then also you can click the notification bell so that every time Financial UA posts a new video, you will be notified, so you can be one of the first people to see the video and one of the first people to leave a comment. Which leaves the last suggestion. I want to encourage you to consider leaving your experience, strength, and hope and sharing that with us in the comments section below. So you can offer a share and leave your experience, strength, and hope. You can ask us a question about any part of this Financial UA program. You can also leave topics that you would like for us to make videos on to share and the Financial UA perspective about any topic that you want. With your comments, I would encourage you to keep them positive and viewer friendly so that they're non-offensive. Please, no curse words or anything, as much as you're able to. So you can support us that way by subscribing, sharing, and liking our YouTube page. You can support us financially by doing a Seventh Tradition donation by clicking the donate button on our financialua.org website, which will allow you to make a contribution, a voluntary contribution via PayPal, and all contributions help us to fund our General Service Office and to pay for our website and other services that we need to use in order to keep this fellowship solvent and functioning. And by the way, any financial donations you make to Financial UA are fully tax deductible because we are a tax-exempt nonprofit organization. So if you ever need a receipt for any donations you make to our fellowship, just send us an email at financialua@gmail.com and we can send you an electronic receipt which itemizes your donations. The next question is how to contact us. Well, you can contact us by calling our General Service Office, and the phone number is listed at the bottom of just about all the pages on our website. You can email us at financialua@gmail.com. You can also send us a private email through the website. Underneath the Welcome tab, there's a drop-down menu, and maybe the 7th or 8th item on the drop-down menu says Contact Us. So if you click that, you can send us an email through the website. So those are 3 great ways to contact us. And that is pretty much it for our frequently asked questions. So I want to, first of all, really thank you for watching this video all the way through and being interested in this program. And we have so much that we want to be able to offer to you to help you with your spiritual recovery and also to help you with your financial recovery and to help you prosper and to move from financial under-earning into a place of prosperity and abundance and feeling excited and enthusiastic because you're connected to your higher power and you're channeling earning power. So that's where we want to be able to support your journey to take you in that direction. And of course, we want to encourage you to keep coming back, to watch our videos, to attend our meetings and our workshops, and to work the steps and recover. So we can only do what we do when we help you recover and connect with your higher power. And so again, please consider coming to visit us and keep coming back one day at a time. And with that, let's close out with our prosperity prayer. So if you'd like, please do consider joining me. And by the way, again, I want to thank you for helping me and helping us to create and hold this space right here and right now, to create and hold this space for healing and recovery. I want to thank you for that. Let's close with our prosperity prayer. God, grant us a serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, the wisdom to know the difference, and the prosperity to afford it. Awesome. Thanks everybody so much for watching this video. Again, please consider subscribing, hit the like button, share this video if you find it to be helpful, and most importantly, keep coming back. Have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to having you be a member of our program. Thanks so much.